Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to yet another match preview show for you guys this evening. And yes, of course, the Reds are back in action tomorrow night at 8 o'clock against Wolves. It's been probably, four games in the last, 6, 7, 8 weeks since that we've been playing Wolves. It seems like literally we're playing them every single month at this point. Anyway, so far in 2023, but thank God it is the last time that we will be playing them this season. Anyway, and of course the last game will be at Anfield at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Anyway, but let me know how you go. You guys, but yeah, I can't talk. You guys are in the comment section down below as well. Let me know how you are. Let me know how you're feeling in the comment section down below as well. Of course, if you guys just seen the start there, of course, we heard the sad news and the sad passing of course, Stephen, which of course put everyone in a bad mood, very much bad mood. On I believe Monday. Well, what day were we on Monday? Too. It was Monday, wasn't it? Monday morning. Apologies if I got my days mixed up. But again, nice to see all the communities, having very much good words to speak about him as well. So of course, our thoughts with him and his family at this time. Anyway, and of course, guys, please love hearts in the chat as well. If anyone is just tuning in as well. And plus, let me know how you lot are in the comment section down below as well. But Brian's in as well, saying hi, Connor as well. Doug is in as well. Hello, Doug. And Brian also saying RIP as well. Anyway, but as thank you guys for that as well. Rest in peace to Stephen Feely as well, absolutely, and love our emoji as well. Thank you, chat, for that as well. But yeah, it was pretty much sad news, wasn't it, over the last couple of days in that regard. Anyway, and of course Jack's here as well, saying walk alone as well, 1000% with you guys on that. Anyway, but jumping straight in then to the preview show for you guys. Of course, well, Liverpool and Wolves, it seems like we're playing them every single week now. But before we do get to that, we do talk more about Liverpool Wolves. We do have, of course, the financial records have been released today by FSG. Well, I say by FSG, by the club anyway. Of course, we're going to talk about this first, and then, of course, we'll get on to the preview itself anyway. But of course, David Lynch bringing out all the statistics in that regard. Of course, Liverpool have released their financial results for the 21-22 season, which of course record-breaking season, going for the quadruple and so forth as well. Of course, media revenue was down by 5 million from 20 21 going at 20 going into 21 as well, which is a little bit of a shocker. Match day revenue up by 83 million, commercial revenue up by 29 million. And again, you don't have to rabble on about, obviously, main revenue going up by 107 million, and profit as well going up Liverpool actually making a profit as well on last season of 7.5 million, which doesn't look much, but of course it is up by 12.3 million from the last, obviously, 2021 season as well. So again, obviously going a bit more into details, and again, you guys can check it out. Go and check out David Lynch's tweets and that. Like, he was speaking more about it more in depth as well. Of course, obviously the big hindsight, what people were taking from it, I think, was more the wage bill of the club. I think that went up by, again, I think that went up by, 20 plus million. So again, that's going to have to be, of course, brought down in the next year or so as well. But again, we already know this, don't we, guys, as well? And again, Liverpool getting a profit is a good thing. You look at many clubs, Manchester United will record a loss, Manchester City will record a loss. But to them, it's a plus in that regard. Chelsea will, Arsenal will. So Liverpool being in profit and being up there and probably one of the only clubs in the Premier League to be in the green is very, very good for the club as well. So, good news in that aspect of things. I know plenty of people were like, oh, but 7.5 million isn't great when you look at it like that. But again, there is plenty of work in getting more, getting more money on the books as well. I can jump on tonight, lad, if you need me. If anyone does want to come on, then let me know. Jack, I will send you a link on Twitter. Let me quickly get you. Where are you? I can't bloody find you. Brilliant. To be fair, I will actually say this as well, chat. We're actually quite lucky that I'm actually live right now. For some reason, my whole area went into an absolute blackout about 25 minutes ago. I generally thought the stream wouldn't happen. I was like, oh Christ, it would happen exactly the time that I'm meant to be going live. In that regard as well. But yeah, Jack, I have sent you the link as well if you do want to come on as well. Of course, don't have to come on, but if you want to come on, please jump on. Hi Brian as well. Hi Jack. Big up chat. Hope you are well. Obviously, Jack's saying, are we the only team that made a profit compared to the other top teams? I don't think everyone else's team. I don't think everyone else is listed in yet. I think that'll be over the next week or two. As well. But when I did have a look, I couldn't find anyone's lists for 21-22 as far as now anyway. But again, could be literally tomorrow they could come out. Romano with the big news. Keith Knox probably leaving. Thanks for Fabrizio, real cutting edge stuff. There, I did see something that he did put something out today about Liverpool, and obviously, I think a lot of journos as well today were trying to make false accusations of Virgil van Dijk saying something at the FIFA awards or something like that. Like, again, I don't get why they would do that, and I don't get realistically the whole aim of it. I think it was basically on the line of, oh yeah, Klopp's the manager of Liverpool, we're all happy at the moment. Also, we're not happy with the current problems at Liverpool, but we're all happy in that. But again, people were just trying to make 2 and 2 and come up with 6, realistically anyway. But well, judging from it, Naby is going to Dortmund by the looks of things at the moment, and Ox, I don't know where Ox is going. I'm not going to lie. I don't even think he knows. He's probably waiting for that contract extension at Liverpool. Brian's put on as well. 920 million spent since 2017 League Cup as well. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Latest scores in the FA Cup. I actually do have the Blackburn game on. It's on the telly there. So again, I think Blackburn should have been 4-0 up at least in the last half anyway. As well, just give me a thumbs up when you're ready, Makendo, and I will bring you in. I didn't ask for those 2 fingers. I asked for a thumb. You absolute rat. I'll bring you in though. Talio Oldbeat as well. Must win tomorrow. Absolutely, of course. Any hope to get top 4 football anyway. But we'll bring Mr. Jack Makendo in from Anfield Road TV. You little rat.
Oh, hello. How are we? Oh. Yeah, I'm all good, lad. I'm all good. Nice one for having me on, miss. Should have sent me an invite, but we've got exciting times, me and Connor ahead, hopefully.
Do we?
Yeah, exciting times. Taking a magical mystery tour of Merseyside.
I thought you wasn't meant to spill any beans until a couple of weeks.
Sign the contracts.
Contract.
Firstly, we're getting Connor to 1,000 subscribers first, everyone. So Connor has been a massive supporter of mine and a lot of people as well on YouTube, and it's an absolute joke that he's not on a K. So everyone, whilst we're live, share the stream, hit the like button for Con, and you know the score, everyone. So yeah.
But we'll give you a fiver after the stream chat.
Yeah,
A little bit in the pocket, like anyway. But
not quite like UEFA though, that. So
I think no, we just need 1,000 lawyers.
yeah.
To be fair in that regard. But what are you making of the pre-tax profit of 7.5 million? I know that won't look glamorous
Mm.
in many people's eyes, but I think it's an actual. 'Cause I think what people are a bit annoyed about is the fact that last season was meant to be a record-breaking season, and we've only just made profit in that regard. But then, in counteracting to that as well, I'd say that the wage bill at Liverpool has gone up quite a lot, actually, in terms of
Yeah.
like surprisingly, I didn't expect Liverpool to have such a high wage bill.
Yeah, I think when we spoke over last year, mate, haven't we, in terms of in chat, I think when you're successful, and I think at Liverpool, as we all quite well adversed anyway, we know we have a structure in the contracts where if Liverpool's performance-based contracts, they're all performance-based, a large majority of them, as we know. So if Liverpool is successful on the pitch in terms of winning trophies, that triggers a lot of clauses in these players' contracts. And I think it'd be interesting, Con. Don't know how you feel, mate, or chat. Be interesting to see how analyze. Obviously, we're not adverse to seeing Salah's contract, but if a lot of his 350k is very much upfront, or if it relates to obviously performance based in terms of goals and assists, but like we have been successful, especially last season, mate. Yes, we didn't win the Champions League, didn't win the Premier League, but we still come away with 2 trophies. And we've come very close to nearly winning the Premier League on a couple of occasions. But yeah, it's a massive point, mate, and that's something that when Jurgen Klopp took over, mate. Remember, there was the Sissoko was on. I know he was on loan, but we had a lot of players on far too much money.
I think Sissoko and was it Mankilo? Like they had a ridiculous amount of low fees in that.
Yeah.
Like it was absolutely like obviously with the likes of Arthur Mello and that obviously there were secret clauses in there. I think the most obvious one I think Liverpool didn't want anyone to know was that there was a buy option for Arthur Mello, but of course obviously Liverpool are not gonna decide to go for that obviously at the start of next season. But yeah, I think and plus the wage bill will go down automatically. Obviously, with the likes of Naby going, Ox going, Adrian going, potentially James Milner as well. Of course, the news today with that as well. Forgot to mention him at the start of the video as well. Obviously, the news is that his contract situation will not be decided until the end of the season. So again, speculation on his future is going to be up in the air until the end of the season, and whether or not he'll obviously leave Liverpool or potentially have a player coach.
He'll be on reduced terms though, mate, in chat only. Like if he is to get another contract, he'll be on literal pennies. Probably not to all of us fans around the world, but in terms of footballing terms, he'll probably be do you know if he's been taking his coaching badges or is anyone in chat?
Yeah,
I'm guessing he probably has behind
them,
closed doors. So yeah,
I think he said in the Sky interview, didn't he? I think back last week or the week before.
And that podcast,
he's taken his badge.
Podcast he's on
it might
as
have been the
well.
podcast. Yeah, he said that he was on the coaching badges at the club. So again, and that would obviously make sense with him constantly at the end of 21 games. All the time anyway, but let us know your thoughts anyway, guys, in the chat as well. I think Blackburn maybe just scored again, so Jesus Christ, they should be 5 up against Leicester tonight. I'm dressing gown and slippers, otherwise I would have jumped on. No problem, Doug. When you guys come into Edinburgh, I don't have a clue.
Probably soon, that. Soon.
In the summer, we'll probably will. 100%. Obviously Doug's link as well went up by about 60 million as well. Well, obviously as David Lynch went more in depth with all the ups and downs with Liverpool.
Great article that, and I think was it Paul Ghost at the Echo? I think he's done something a great piece as well, chat. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that out in its full entirety.
Absolutely. But yeah, again, looking at it, it's like if we're just talking about the main figure, of course, it's up by 12.3 million from what it was last, 2021, in that regard as well. So again, from peak COVID time, it's up by 12 million, if that makes sense. In that regard, haven't been online much. I switched to United. Looking forward to the Europa League. Traitor, El Spicer. Traitor.
Hope you're well, mate.
How is everyone today as well? Doing fantastic, thank you, Matt.
See, I'm being
well,
busy.
hopefully you're having a fantastic day as well. Darwin must start. We'll talk about Darwin in due course as well. Of course, Jurgen's news about Darwin. We'll talk about in a moment. Not too bad, Mark, as well. Hope you're well too. And Mark saying, I think we need to go out with a good squad. Rest of the rest better players for United. As well as Mark. Yeah, thanks. Just tired, a busy day as well. And yeah, Doug mentioned Ivan Toney he has pleaded guilty, hasn't he, to his charges, which I think minimum punishment is a 6-month ban. I think.
If he gets away with a 6-month ban for all those charges, then Jesus.
Was Jack late again for the stream? No, he wasn't. He wasn't late. Obviously, Jack. I thought Jack was busy. But obviously, Jack's popped onto the stream as well. Anyway, but yeah, it's a bit weird though. I find it weird that the charges were brought to him. Was it the back end of December? I think
it was a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we're nearly into March, and he still hasn't been properly charged of like breaking betting rules. To be fair though, like I know for it, obviously the betting rules are dodgy for footballers. It always has been, but if he hasn't betted on himself or in games that haven't regarded him, I don't realistically see the problem in it. But again, that's another podcast and thought process in itself.
Yeah, the one thing I don't get, mate, and shall let us know what your thoughts on this, is surely players are allowed a little dabble and all that. But aren't Brentford sponsored by a betting company? Or, like say, for example, say if you're a player, but fair enough, you want to eradicate betting, but we know it's probably the biggest, one of, if not, in the top 3 of like the biggest generators within global football. That alcohol and obviously other like sponsorship deals, but it's I think fair enough. Don't allow players to bet in sport on their own sport or whatnot, but they should be able to, especially if teams are sponsored by betting companies themselves as well. It's like fair enough if it's, as Connor alluded to, if they're betting on himself to get a hat trick against United and he's whacked 50 grand on, then there's an issue, really.
Yeah. Just imagine it. It's like, oh, Ivan Toney never gets red cards against Liverpool. Oh, there you go. There's a red card. That's a bit suspicious.
Whacked on 50 grand to get a Darwin headbutt on a Palace at the beginning of the season.
Just imagine if we had a time machine. But no, it's like that now with the. Obviously, I don't know if you're up to date with the snooker latest with the.
Oh no, missed.
Yeah, like I think it's like, is it? Doug, you'll know more than me as well. I think is it 10 players in like the top 32 or like the top 64, something like that, have been suspended. I think due to match fixing or something like that.
My Jesus!
It's something like that. I don't know if it's the top 64 or the top 100 that's got suspended. But I remember like a couple of weeks ago something got. It was big news about it. I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but if that was the case, like if the fact that they turned around and went, oh yeah, the whole Brentford team is like in cahoots with it, like that'd be a massive investigation. The whole Brentford team, was suspended. For quite funny.
It's not quite the City Art though, Con, is it?
Yeah, no, it's not.
I was right there. Like, I don't know if anyone's watching the Fulham Leeds game. That's the most FIFA nearly goal I've just seen. The ball's just been ricocheting across the goal line for the excess of like a minute. Just Leeds being Leeds that can't actually put the ball in the back of the net.
Is it still 2-0?
Yeah, it's still Fulham 2-0. If you haven't seen, did you see Paulinho's goal gone? Oh,
Yeah, mine went. Yeah.
yeah, the first one. Like if you haven't seen Paulinho's goal from tonight, chat in the FA Cup, it's absolute peach. Probably goal of the round, really, in all honesty. Lovely goal.
Big, most big companies are sponsored by betting companies. Yeah, and yeah, Douglas saying yeah, that's right as well. Yeah, it's massive.
Imagine
Obviously,
that in the
John.
Prem though. Like say if like 5, 6, 8 teams in the Premier League were like done for like bribes or something mad. Like so that'd be madness.
Scoring the Leicester game, it is currently 2-1 to Blackburn, but
Yeah, fifth
it
minute
should
at the time, I think.
it should be 4 or 5 Blackburn. They've been much better than Leicester tonight. 2-1 to Blackburn as well. I think you dug for that as well. But I want to quickly get back to the footy anyway. Obviously, the Liverpool. I want to quickly get up a weird stat and statistic that I thought was quite funny and interesting. I don't know if this is actually quite accurate or not, but I'm guessing it is because it is done by the proper stats people. Quickly get it for you guys. There we go. So tomorrow, Liverpool will play Wolves for the 4th time in 2023. If this gets bigger, there we go. March the 1st is the 4th earliest that Liverpool have played a side 4 times in a calendar year. Now, of course, the at number 1 was 1921 against Manchester United. From February 9th to March 1st, Liverpool played Man United 4 times. But obviously, Wolves game, obviously from the start of 2023, it's obviously the earliest that we've played a side 4 times in a calendar year. Which, to be fair, I'm kind of glad this is it now with Wolves because I'm sick and tired of seeing them.
Especially the maps is slapping our ass one.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be kind of nice if it was the other way around. It'd be like, oh yeah, easy 3 points again. But quite clearly, it's not been the best this season anyway. But Jack, what have you made of Wolves? Because obviously, last time out, played against Fulham. I thought they were quite unlucky to not get all 3 points against Fulham. And to be fair, again, obviously, for me, the main person I'm going to mainly look out for Wolves is, of course, Matthias Nunes, because due to his Liverpool links as well. But is there anyone else in particular that's impressed you for Wolves this season?
I'd have to mention the manager, mate, Lopetegui. As I said, I've watched a couple of his games, obviously, but I'm not an avid watcher of his tactics, really. And so always that notion, really, of any like La Liga coach or ex-La Liga coach coming into the Premier League and really trying to stamp their philosophy, especially in the Premier League in terms of we analyze and see how many how many coaches from all different nationalities or different leagues as well applying the trade. You look at obviously the Fulham manager as well, Silva. Obviously probably has a bit of a little good run at Everton and obviously a Hull as well. And he's doing absolutely wonders at Fulham. But I've been really surprised by how quickly I think he's got used to the tactics in the Premier League, mate. Of course, the squad fundamentally that he's inherited at Wolves is a very solid Premier League side. It's not like he's come in like Jurgen Klopp did, and he's inherited like the likes of Fabio Borini and all that. They're a very good technical side, Wolves. But I think this is something that gone. I don't know how you feel, chat. That a lot of clubs, similar to Swansea, like the way they approach a manager, or certain clubs, they have a profile and it's got to stick to that profile. The manager, first and foremost, is got to play the philosophy that the club wants, and that suits the players. And that's what I think Wolves have massively benefited in terms of getting Lopetegui in and understanding the players' technical ability. Fundamentally, I think a lot of clubs in the Premier League, don't know if you'll con, are getting managers, or they have done it over the last couple of years, and they're not really fitting the philosophy of the current crop of players that they have got.
Yeah. Well, I think even when you look at, for example, like Brighton, when they were following their new manager for years, and like they were like, oh yeah, we followed him if something happened with obviously with the popularity of Graham Potter, and obviously Chelsea kept coming in for him, they knew who they want straight away. Went and got him, and it fit the the club like a glove. And it's like now Brighton are arguably better than what they were under Graham Potter at the start of this season. And I think you're right when in terms of, and not only that, I think managers are starting to look at clubs. They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter who the club is; it's in the Premier League. Like obviously,
Premier.
like Ancelotti, for example. Like if someone had said 10 years ago, Ancelotti would have been the manager of Everton Football Club, nobody would have looked at.
Would have laughed at.
Yeah, everyone would have looked at you and went, yeah, all right, fair enough. Like, but obviously came in. Obviously, you've got Lopetegui, Luis Enrique. I think is looking at potential Premier
The
League
Leeds
job.
manager, who's got another Spanish. Is he Spanish as well? Another.
I know you're. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Doug will know the
Yeah.
the Leeds manager, but even him. But again, people are not going, oh, I'm only going to come into the Premier League if it's for a top team. Managers are starting to come in at that, that mid ground, that Fulham, that Wolves, around that mark. And obviously elevating them the Premier League to be even better. It's like when people go, oh, the Premier League's not the best league. For me, I think by miles it is the best league in Europe, without a doubt. Javi Garcia, thank you, guys, for that. Yeah, ex Watford manager as well. But again, though, obviously, like I mentioned, we have played Wolves now 4 times this season, and again, I don't want to see them ever again. In that regard, we'll quickly get up, of course, the latest games between the two teams. Obviously, the form sheet at the minute. Obviously, their form sheet is obviously better than ours so far. Obviously, their last 5 games, they got battered by Manchester City. Then they battered us 3-0. Obviously, then they beat Southampton, lost to Bournemouth, and drew to Fulham. But like I said, they were very much unlucky to draw that game. In retrospect, but again, looking at us as well, obviously losing 3-0 to Watford, not Watford, sorry, Wolves, Everton, beating Newcastle, losing to Madrid, and then of course drawing 0-0 against Crystal Palace. And of course, Jack, obviously in today's press conference, Jurgen Klopp speaking about Liverpool keeping 3 clean sheets in the last 3 Premier League games, but it's like he said, like, Ali has had to make more saves this season and had to be more of an impact for Liverpool. I think he was mentioning today he wants to get back to Alisson being the last resort for Liverpool in that regards, which I think me and you, we've spoken off camera about the amount of saves that Alisson's had to make this season,
and even last season as well, mate. When we mentioned. Like, if it wasn't for him, I suppose, we all know, you don't win anything with a jar goalkeeper in between the sticks. But as Courtney alluded to there, mates, that we shouldn't be. It says a lot when Alisson's your man in the match every single bloody match week, which feels like for the last 6 months.
It's been ridiculous, hasn't it, over the last couple of weeks anyway. But we'll take a quick look then, obviously, at the last time we played Wolves and the starting 11 for that game in particular. And just looking at it gives me depression straight away. But obviously for Liverpool last time out, of course, it was, I'll quickly scroll this a bit further down for you guys as well. Of course, Ali in goal, Trent and Robbo left and right back. Obviously, Joe Gomez, we'll mention injury news in a moment as well, will be out. Obviously, John Matip, but that midfield 3 for me, well, that's the midfield 3 we'll definitely won't be seeing tomorrow, apart from probably Stefan Bajcetic. And then, of course, the front 3 being Darwin Núñez, Cody Gakpo, and Mohamed Salah. Now, Jack, just looking at that team and looking at the Wolves team, I expect a very similar lineup, with obviously just like we mentioned, like Liverpool's midfield probably change with Fabinho and Jordan Henderson, or might even see it at 2 as a pivot potentially. But for you, what would be the best strategy for Liverpool in this game? Do you think maybe hold back a little bit, because I think looking back at the stats in that game, I think Liverpool had like 70% possession or somewhere around there. We'll quickly check. Yeah, Liverpool had 60% possession
Yeah.
in that game to Wolves 40. But again, you look on the XG, you look on everything, Wolves completely battered us that day. But what would be your game plan if you was Jurgen Klopp going into this game?
Just get at them, mate. I just want to see Liverpool. I think all of us do, mate. They're far too passive in recent weeks. Yes, you can talk about the players. We'll speak about Nunes. Hopefully, he'll be fit. Don't want to be jumping the gun on that. But if he is, then we get massive part to play in terms of get Liverpool getting a result as Darwin Nunes. He's just goes to show how good he has been since coming to Liverpool, how important and how integral he is to the way in which Liverpool have been playing in the last couple of weeks and months. In all honesty, yeah, it's we've all wanted a fast. I miss, especially when we won the league. We all remember that season. It literally, you'd have teams coming to Anfield, or you'd see Liverpool from the first 5, 10 minute, 15-minute period. We'd absolutely swarm over teams. We wouldn't give them any ounce of break. And even against Real Madrid, mate, battered them for the first 15, 20 minutes. Then it was like, oh, sound, we can relax. No. If Liverpool want to get, as we all know, back up in terms of competing for the elite trophies and the elite Champions Leagues and everything, we really need to just get away with this notion. I'm not buying into of course, when we've analysed the run statistics, the amount of minutes he played, fair enough. But, of course, it's trying to hand in hand. But when you analyse going with the momentum, the rhythm, and all that, and even if the team's going through a bad patch, which it has been in the last couple of months, which feels like bloody years, we need to have a consistent back five, mate. I've spoke to you many times off camera. Liverpool we need Ibu to come back as quick. For first and foremost, we need to come back, get him back into the team, have him settled. Him and Virgil van Dijk, bang. 2 centre halves. Stop messing about with you can't compensate for injuries. No team can, but play a structured back five, regardless of results. This back line needs to actually start communicating better, and first and foremost, putting in performances as well. But when you relate that, when you look at the midfield, the lack of quality in midfield, it's just frankly not good enough. We've all done it. We've all had a little look at even Wolves' midfield. I think I wouldn't even probably say, apart from if you take Thiago out of Liverpool starting main three, I think Liverpool probably got a top 10 midfield at best.
I think below 10.
Or below, probably.
Midfield.
Yeah.
Now, anyway. I think there was a debate. There was a debate, wasn't there, before the start of the season, with where does Liverpool's midfield rank with Thiago there? If you take Thiago out, not looking that good.
The position probably reflects that, though, mate, doesn't it? In terms of the league, would you say?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that quite clearly this is the main conversation. That's it's.
Hello. All right, chat. Settle that. I'll take over. Oh, good. And you're back in the room. Hello.
For some reason, that just decided to lag. I don't know why. Apologies, chat. But for me, obviously, it's been a main conversation for obviously the whole entire season. And I think one thing for Liverpool is the fact that we're constantly talking about the midfield. And the one thing I would say as well, when you're everyone knows Liverpool's midfield is going to need rebuilding. Everyone knows the midfield is, going to need that, rehab in that sense. I wonder how it makes the likes of Fabinho, the ones that makes, Jordan Henderson, the fact that they can't do the job that is required to be done, and how that makes them feel. Because we know Jordan Henderson, look, people will have a go at Hendo, they'll have a go the way he plays, but for a fact his intentions are he wants to do what's best for the football club.
Me and you, and every Liverpool fan around the world, we criticised these plays, but fundamentally, it's like if you're in any job, You need the support network around them. First and foremost, Fabinho and Henderson should have been told 6 months ago that this is the area in the team that you'll be taken up. You're not necessarily guaranteed a starting 11 place, and considering how bad they have been playing, you'd think, like in any business or any job, you try and get your managers try and like get probably outsource better quality, or like try and put your position not under threat, but try and create like an environment around you where it's structured that you can get the best out of each other. Like, these players have become far too settled. I think we all know that in terms of midfield. Fabinho, we've ran him into a bloody brick wall. Fabinho's played 10 years in the space of 5 years. And of course, the performance level that we've seen, i.e., the Fulham, it was the Wolves game in the FA Cup weeks ago. He literally come on, nearly gets bloody sent off. Should have got sent off in that game.
Yeah.
And that's not me defending just Fabinho, but we know the performance level, and the players themselves know they're just playing absolutely appalling and dreadful. But it's not going to get any better, though, mate, given the age profile of them.
I think, sorry to butt in, but I think the worrying thing for me, when we're talking about the summer transfer window and we're talking about players getting linked to the club, now, of course, things that we're currently talking about, probably the club's also talking about, but there's things that we don't know. Like for example, Fabinho, for example, Cody Gakpo is another example. Nobody knew.
I'm hoping we've got another Fabinho, or like a player that's just no one's mentioned any of us.
But that's what I mean. That's what I was going to get on to. Nobody's talking about a DM for Liverpool. I think Liverpool are massively needing a DM. We can't be going, unless we are changing the system where it's maybe a 2 and a pivot, potentially, when we're talking about Jude Bellingham and we're talking about, for example, Matheus Nunes, for example. For me, they're too attacking in that regard. And the big worry for me is that the rumour is at the minute the Klopp will be happy enough to keep Fabinho for another year to try and see if Fabinho can come back. But that for me is another huge mistake in regarding to, if you're going to rely again on potentially Jordan Henderson and Fabinho being the 6 in the team, as we've seen from this season, it hasn't worked. And Tchouaméni, back in the summer, of course, we couldn't get him, so it's quite clearly an area the Klopp has looked at and gone, yeah, we might need readjusting there.
But that fundamentally, and chat as well, and Con, that's what we don't want. Say we do bring in another Fabinho type player, we don't want to be like 4 years down the line and be back to bloody square one. We want to be having competition in every position in our team. Right back fundamentally as well. I understand you're not going to get in the quality. Of course, you're looking at probably a crazy amount of money to really try and get on the level of Trent's quality. It's not going to happen because he's one of the elite level players in his position. But what you don't do is go and sign a 18, 19-year-old or whatever the old he is, Ramsey, knowing full well he's got a bad injury record. His body's still developing, of course, and be picking up more injuries. But we need to be doing something, mate. And I'm hoping we all know it's gonna, whatever happens, I've said to you, and I keep on saying, we're not getting Jude as much as it's a pie dream. But if we do, then sounds. But we'll be crippled for the next 10 years. The way we don't spend money as well. But you're looking at how many players, chat, let us know. How many players for you personally as well? I'm looking at
4 in the summer.
4. When I say midfielders, I want elite youngsters.
Are we talking just midfielders?
Yeah, midfielders for now.
Then 4,
don't get me started on centre halves. But I've literally got the Fulham game on in the background here, chat. And the fact that Paulinho come to the Premier League, and especially considering how well respected the Portuguese league is, especially in the Premier League, Look at him, and he went under the radar of Liverpool and Manchester City.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Manuel Ugarte. I've been going on about this to you for freaking ages.
Yeah, I've not seen
He
a
for
lot of them.
me is the one. If you're looking at pure Fabinho numbers, he's the one. 21 years of age, Uruguayan international. Darwin Nunes is there as well. It's just the fact that, and plus he can play as an 8 as a 6. Like again, but that's the thing. When the worry for me, obviously, that today I think Patrick Berger, Borussia Dortmund. I think reporter. I think he is. I think he mainly Bundesliga, but he does report as well on Dortmund. Was obviously speaking about Liverpool and obviously Jude Bellingham and the chances were there. Obviously, over the last 2 or 3 days, Mason Mount has been also obviously spoken about. Matthias Nunes has been spoken about as well. But that's the real worry for me, where we're speaking about all these players.
It's about identifying the right profile of players that we need, mate. For me, on that 6, mate, I don't know how you feel, chat. We need to sort the 6 out fundamentally, because you look at Hendo, you look at Trent and Robbo, they're not getting, I know we all know Liverpool been defending like a Conference League team in recent weeks, but you're analysing Trent's game and Robbo. It's not the old school Robbo, the way Liverpool play. We played our best football when we won the league. Literally, Trent and Robbo, we know, were playing as left wing and right wing. They were that pushed on, and that's when you had them legs in midfield. I think if we can sort the 6, or a more creative box to box, someone that can do a bit of both in terms of defensive work and obviously the attacking work, to cover those spaces, cover those areas in the right back slots and obviously the left backs. But he has to have a very good understanding from a defensive point of view as well.
I think a little bit though as well is we've become a victim of our own wanting in that regard, because I think plenty of people have gone, oh well, Liverpool's midfield don't get 6 or 7, 8 goals, and that they don't get 6, 7 assists. They're not very creative. They're not this. They're not that. In a Jurgen Klopp system, they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, it's your forward 3, your full backs, and then the occasional centre back header.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to be this, flashy. And this is the thing where for so many years, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, and Jordan Henderson got disrespected. When we won the league, that was probably our strongest area. Wasn't of course Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino. It massively helped, and obviously Virgil van Dijk at the back and Alisson Becker. But that midfield, the fact it was so good, it was engine work, tight, compact, energized. Everything was good about it. And over the last couple of seasons, yes, it's changed from that. We've become a bit more technical in that regard, instead of the power workhorse, running midfield that we were so adopted to. And I think Liverpool have to get back to that, and a little bit of it. I know plenty of people might go, "Oh well, Thiago a little bit changed that." Yeah, he did a little bit.
And I've been banging that drum, and I've spoken to you, and I've said Thiago completely slows us down, and I've had arguments with relatives and all that. It's like in recent weeks, I love Thiago, and I can understand where we've tried. That was the next phase of getting Liverpool to be more consistent, adding the Thiago to your team, to your system, to try and play a different way. And as Connor's alluded to, adding goals from a midfield point of view was that next elevation. When Liverpool are at the top of their game, if we could just add that little bit of spice in the midfield, someone that could get a goal or an assist or could create a bit more, added on with that energy in and around the midfield when he actually could run. That's where you would make that next step, really. It wasn't now we know the deficiencies in every angle. As you alluded to there, Con, the midfield, the classic Liverpool midfield over the last 4 or 5 year period when they were on their absolute best form, they all fed off each other. And I'm watching this Liverpool midfield, like a lot of us,
disjointed.
And we're all watching going, what he's doing? They're literally getting walked through. And literally, if they played the under-12s against Wolves, the under 12s midfielders would literally probably walk through them as well. That's how bad they have been playing in recent weeks.
Yeah, no, they have, absolutely. And that's the thing though, isn't it? Where we, like, going on to next season, we have to get the people in the door pretty, early and get it going again. Because this is the thing. I think what people don't really, are not really expecting, are not really anticipating, is the fact that, oh yeah, we're going to get these midfielders in, and Liverpool are going to be back fighting for the title next season, and we're going to be back to being Liverpool. It's not going to be that easy. It's going to be probably a season again where we are
bedding in periods, because as we've said there, probably 4 or 5 elite midfielders or midfielders that have got experience, and especially if you're buying from outside the Premier League. But at the end of the day, like all of us, there's no room with Liverpool. We need to be hitting the ground running first weekend. Because how many times, Con, in chat that we looked at, the season we didn't win the league, obviously last year, it was that we had to not the best of starts again, and we got to the end of May and went. You could literally handpick the results, and you went, yeah, that was the game here and there where we just started a bit slow.
It's like last season, isn't it? We were like, what was it, I think the 1st of January, we were 14 points down with 2 games in hand. And like, you even look at I think even the Palace results, like this past week, it wasn't Liverpool in that game. It wasn't like, I've never seen a Jurgen Klopp side be so happy for a draw. Like, we normally would shove on, we take off a midfielder, go 4-2-3-1, bring on the extra attacker, go for the game, get the win. Or even then, even if we drew, fair enough, we've had a go at winning the game. But we were happy for that point.
That's mad.
On the week.
That's mid-table mediocrity, mate. In all honesty, that's what mid-table teams in the Premier League do, and that's probably what frustrates Klopp the most, mate. We can all see Klopp, of course, he's responsible for the tactics and all that. But if he's telling these players to do this and do that, and he's literally like all of us being like, "What are you doing?" And we got embarrassed, one of our biggest European defeats at Anfield in Champions League. Fair enough, it's against Real Madrid, the biggest club team in that competition.
But looking at that first half, the way we played as well, like that was probably the best.
We can do it. We can do it when we can be asked. And that's probably the more concerning thing, mate. Like all of us, we can play in spells, but what's stopping these players from playing a full 95 plus minutes?
Yeah,
nothing. It's all, of course, the ability of certain players. We know that. But it's all in their head, mate. Like, you need to just keep on, getting at it.
Well, it's like the 4th or 5th goal for Madrid, where Fabinho should have just brought Modric down and didn't. Like,
that's happened so many times this season, though, mate. I don't know. You come out the game fuming. I went to the Palace game. Yeah, we were man down and that. But it was when they were on the halfway line. How many times this season, or in the moments that have mattered, just go for it. Casemiro, prime example. He's that type of player. But the Valverde one, I think Valverde, years ago when he was quoted as saying, like, all he could hear was Ramos of saying, bring him down. Like, just take him out. Yeah. That's what you need. If you want to, we need that. We need that nasty streak in our team. And that's what Robbo was for a little bit of a phase. Remember when we played Barca in the semis?
Yeah.
At the minute, we're just far too
easy,
nice. Far too nice in reality. Just rough them up. Even if you're getting beat. And that's what I love about Darwin, mate. You can see Darwin in the Everton game. He was hop, skipping, and jump.
When he goes down with his hood up and he's like, like
proper scouser outside the shop, lad. You want to scrap, lad?
No, I love Darwin, and look, for me, I think he is Liverpool's most important player at the moment. And obviously, we'll move on to team news in a minute. But let me get some chat.
And that's and as I said, 100%. They always agree. The players, and we all know that, mate. And chat, we all know the players. We all know the names. We've all spoke about them enough, and it's a massive 12 months in terms of the recruitment.
Yeah, no, 100%. Do we go back in for Amrabat? No.
One of those paper story nonsense.
Yeah, and plus he's very much on his way to Barcelona. Because again, at the World Cup looked amazing. Don't get me wrong, but then his whole attitude when he knew Barcelona was trying to get him on deadline day. Yeah, it's a massive no for Liverpool. I would go all out for the 3 tomorrow too, because in all likelihood getting beat by United as well. I don't know. Anfield Sunday evening again, and again that's the thing. If Liverpool, I was saying this to Jack off camera. I think we even said it on camera in the last preview. If Liverpool had that 45 minutes against any other team in Europe, so that's including Premier League, that's including any other team, maybe apart from Napoli, I'd say this season, Liverpool would batter them, and I mean 3-4, 5-0 in the first half. But Madrid kept their cool. Madrid are very good at doing that. They're probably the best team in Europe at doing it. And that's the thing. United, you don't know. If Liverpool knock their confidence in a game, but again, they don't have a manager. They don't have a weak-minded manager.
Don't have a
very good manager.
Yeah, don't have a PE teacher no more, do they?
No, don't have a Norwegian PE teacher. These days as well. Tom saying, do you think the reason he's starting Stefan to get him ready for the new DM, for Stefan to see what it's like, to see if he needed to build more muscle, so he's ready for next season?
He's a big lad, Tom. I don't know. Obviously, you've probably not watched a lot of Liverpool, being an Everton fan, mate, but Stefan's a big lad. I think he's like 6'1", 6'2". And that's where he's still at a young age, where he needs to fill out as well. But I'll tell you what, if he fills out and he still has mobile in the next couple of years, then by Lord, we've got an absolute monster of a DM. But that's the thing, Tom. We don't want to be running Pacetic into the ground already at the age of, 18, 19 years old. We just don't want to be doing that. And it's about safeguarding him. You look at Owen when he broke in as a youngster. His hamstrings absolutely got destroyed due to the sheer amount. And that was one thing that was mentioned about Rashford as well. And that's probably coincided, apart from obviously the last 6-12 months where he's had a regained in form. But Rashford literally had the weight of Manchester United on his shoulders for the best part of a very long time. And then he was getting absolutely disgusting. It's mad how the United fans have very much switched within the space of 6 months with Rashford. They were wanting him out. They were like giving him, and they're like, "Oh no, we were really like that." And Rashford is getting absolutely slandered by their fans.
He's one of the only few Manchester United players I'd like at Liverpool. I would very much like Rashford at Liverpool.
Oh yeah, what Klopp would do with him. Jesus.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like that's the thing. Like United fans, I think in general are very fickle. Like they're going about now with Liverpool and the FSG and this and blah blah blah. But it's like, I think someone said it on Twitter, the fact that they were singing Glazers Out in the Carabao Cup final, but then were swinging around scarves that were paid for the Glazers and like supporting and cheering. And I'm like, they're very much like on a yo-yo effect all the time when it comes to the we want the Glazers out, but then if they give us 300-400 million pounds to spend in the summer, it's fine for us 3 weeks, and then we'll go back again singing about the owners again. If he can't be asked, then drop him. He's half-arsed all season. I think you're about Trent, but to be honest with you, chat, I don't get this Trent. Again, look, on Palace, there were a few arguments with his attitude.
And do not get me started on those muppets that were blaming him for the Real Madrid goal.
It's not his fault.
It's a whole defensive line issue, but my head rolled off into the head.
Am I wrong in saying this? I think Trent's been one of our best players since the World Cup restart.
Yeah, and that's picking at straws. We're
picking at straws, but he has been the best of a bad bunch, I would say.
Yeah, he could be better, but we know, and I've said obviously his output, he's got like 4 assists or something. He can do better, but I think it's the media narrative, makes like the media narrative. Christ. Like, similar with Rashford, that's an easy target for Manchester United's bad form.
Hang on, apologies for butting in. Chat, are we talking about you lot selling Trent by
No.
Please don't tell me this is real.
Yeah. I think it might be Fabinho, I'm guessing.
If we're talking about Fabinho, then so. But I think I do think it is about Trent, by the way. So, chat, if you talked about that, then Jesus Christ. But if he doesn't move into midfield, yes, I would. What's this? Trent? Doug, you'd sell Trent Alexander-Arnold? Are you smoking crack?
It might be.
Yeah, maybe. Thiago being linked with Fenerbahce today, I did see that, to be fair. But yeah, I don't know if, again,
Still must be on the line.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doug me up to. But yeah, let me get back to the chat a little bit and then we'll move. Actually,
Yeah,
no,
big up everyone. Everyone's been smashing it as well. Great support. And if you haven't subscribed to Connor's channel, hit that subscribe button down below. As I said, we're getting Connor to a K. Should be already on a K, but let's get him up.
As Doug said, but yeah, 23 watching, smash the like button. Yeah, if we could, would be very much appreciated. I'm going to quickly check what likes we're actually on. We are on 17 right now, so we can get to 20. Be very much appreciated, guys, as well. Trail Bangladesh is asking for 6 billion what they want. Yeah, obviously, but I think to be fair, FSG are waiting as well to see what happens in that regard.
I said it weeks ago, mate. I spoke to you. Both American sets of owners, Liverpool and Manchester United, they make an absolute bloody fortune. They take all both sets of fans for absolute mugs. In reality, they bleed both clubs dry in terms of they run the club like a business fundamentally, like you should. That's sensible, but like they make so much money for their own wealth as well. Like I bet you they take about it's their company. They can do whatever they like. Sadly, they don't listen to fans because of who they get in the board. They can class it as, oh, we've got fan representation on the board of United and Liverpool. When you sat around a table of billionaires and millionaires, unless you as a fan have got that kind of money, then you're not going to get your voice heard at all. As big, as loud, as boisterous as you want to be, you've got no chance.
Well, it's like, well, first of all, hello,
Big
Dave. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Good seeing you, my friend. But yeah, I think, like, obviously with like people like Spirits of Shankly and that, like, where they're like, oh yeah, get your voice heard now. Obviously, the club will, quote, listen to it, but then it's like, for me, one of the most concerning things is the fact that Liverpool, Spirit of Shankly have like with Madrid, with the ticket allocation for Real Madrid, like the fact that obviously it's by law or UEFA law that the fact they have to give a 5% of the stadium, and I think it's like 2% that they've given Liverpool supporters, and like only 2 disabled seats or something or base, like, and that hasn't got resolved, and I'm like, how is that? We're a couple of weeks away from that game, and it's still not solved in that regard. And I just think that it's ridiculous. But again, the club and the owners, they won't listen to a few things.
And we know there will be protests yet again from United's fans in the build up to this fixture. I'm guessing. I haven't read anything, but literally it'll be the same stories that they'll be putting out like they have done for the last couple of games, the big games. And that's the thing, especially in the social media age we all live in, chat as well. The fan voice has never been as louder as it possibly is. Whether you agree to disagree with certain people's views and everything, but like we live in a modern era of like social media. If you want to try and get a positive message out or a message to like say the owners and that, you can do if it gets enough traction, enough shares and likes and stream. Your content can get
look at the reaction to the Super League.
Yeah,
that woke them up.
Like fans, if football fans in general, especially in England, actually come together, and I mean truly come together, not this half-assed, we'll show up and all that, but actually as a footballing family come together on a lot of issues within the English football, then you could literally, thousands could walk on Parliament as well, but they don't. It's always the people, as we know. People have power in any society, to demand real change.
Yeah, absolutely. Bajcevic, Keita, and Milner for my midfield tomorrow. We'll get onto that in a minute. That wouldn't be my midfield. I'm not gonna lie. But just bringing up a few injury news, of course. Luis Diaz, obviously Jurgen was speaking about him earlier on, and he is now back up running. Obviously, I think Klopp mentioned he's probably a week or two away from team training. So again, that's great news in that regard. Of course, just at the final stages of rehab. Also did mention Thiago Alcantara as well. He is at the beginning phase or the middle phase of his rehab as well. So again, long got out for Thiago once again, which of course is bad and sad news in that regard. And of course, obviously a lot of you will be wondering about Darwin Nunes. Of course, Klopp mentioned that he did train yesterday alongside Ibu Konate, and of course both of them should be all okay for tomorrow. So again, both Ibu and Darwin Nunes should be a-okay for tomorrow against Wolves, which of course is fantastic news. Anyway, but Jack, I'm going to ask you for your starting 11 prediction, as I always do it. You always love me coming to you with your starting 11 prediction.
Jack, get your starting 11s in the comments as well.
To be fair, guys, if I have missed people's start 11, I do apologise. The chat is going up frequently.
Big up chat.
So yeah, if you could please let me know your starting 11 prediction in the comment section down below. But Jack, what would you go for tomorrow?
Team full of Carragers. Not with the speed of game it is now. All the Carragers would literally be on the halfway line.
We'll be losing freaking 4-5-0.
I have flashbacks as a kid of watching Carragher get absolutely destroyed by many of attackers, but mainly Drogba. Drogba, when he literally used to put the ball 10 yards in front of Carragher and still absolutely get the ball.
It was always as a kid when he was at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
He'd always turn him every single time. And just bang, top corner, past Pepe Reina, game over.
But yes, lucky enough we haven't got Carragher. As much as a lot of the senior Liverpool players would say, especially Virgil van Dijk.
Wouldn't fit the team very well.
Alisson in goal, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robbo left back, Bajcetic. Fabinho playing 2 6s because we can't defend nothing. Did you say Thiago potentially back?
No, Thiago's out. He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah, Henderson then. Yeah, I'd go with that. We're not in a position where we can be choosing who and what not to play. Yeah, we just need to get 3 points from every single bloody game. So we'll go with them. It's not like we got much options.
Could go Curtis Jones.
And I'm one of Curtis' biggest fans, as everyone knows.
That's what I said.
My Curtis. Gakpo, Nunes, and Salah. Yeah. And that goes to in terms of what I did say with the defenders. That forward three looks like it's gradually getting there as well. And it was massively impacted when Darwin Nunes wasn't on the pitch in that second half against Real.
I would agree with you on everything, but Konate and Matip, I think Konate starts.
If Konate's fully fit, I'd throw him in, but I just don't want to be doing what I'm hoping we don't do with Luis Diaz and throw him in too early.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if Konate is fit, I think that will be Liverpool starting 11 against Wolves. I think the only curveball we could potentially see is, like you mentioned, we could potentially have Bajcetic and Fabinho in a 2, and go 4-2-3-1 and play Jota up with Gakpo, Salah, and Nunes.
If we did, we'd get absolutely swamped, mate. So that you look at all the technical players of Wolves. I think we, for as bad as we have been this season, we need that extra midfielder. Whatever that extra midfielder actually does in a game, we'll find out, hopefully.
It'll just be that. It'll be Hendo in the 6 again, Naby on the right, and Bajcetic on the left.
I don't think Naby knows what he's doing most weeks, mate. So,
he's gone, mate. But do you know what? I was saying this the other day. I've been one of Naby's biggest fans. You guys know that.
Yes.
I've been one of Naby's biggest fans at Liverpool. It's time to go. It's very much time to go. That first half performance against Palace was one of the worst 45 minutes I've seen from a Liverpool midfielder, I think, ever. It was bad. Really, really bad. I think
Naby just surprises all of us by how bad he can even get every single time, even more.
Was that you were saying? Like he's meant to be playing for a move, and right now, apart from Leipzig and Dortmund, nobody else wants him.
Did I see a rumour this week that Barca are actually trying to get him?
Yeah, Barca.
And that Barca whatever.
Because
if my man was half decent at football, like they'd probably want air or something. But sadly, Brendan, my man can't play tiki taka. So
just hoofball, just punt it. Chris going 2-0 Liverpool as well. My prediction. Mark asked, would anyone rest Salah? I don't think we can afford to, realistically.
Who would you play there, Mark? Like Elliott, right wing?
Yeah.
Like
Jota,
potentially,
maybe?
but it's the thing. Salah needs a rest, and even when he has been playing bad this season, in the day, like I think it was as Panov said there, he's on a lot of money. But regardless, fundamentally, I think all of us want the players that are playing at their elite level because we've got more of a chance of winning a game. Of course, we have. But I think just having Salah, regardless if he's in or out of form, he still petrifies teams, and you will create that bit more space in the pitch. You'd hope in terms of the attacking line.
Yeah,
you'd hope.
I have to start earlier to cover Gomez. Wouldn't use Gomez is injured as well. I forgot to mention that as well. Gomez has a hamstring problem. That he.
How did you? I didn't even run against Real.
Real Madrid. He went off in. Remember, Matip came on.
Yeah, I remember
like the 65th minute.
Thank God.
Supposedly, he injured it running back. For I think the 4th or 5th goal.
Was it the Benzema one when our whole back line went on their ass?
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
That's when he injured his hamstring, supposedly. But elsewhere, it's got Ali, Robbo, Virgil, Canate, Milner, a right back. Bicetic, Fabinho in a 2, Bobby, and then Jota, Nunes, and Salah. I wouldn't be against that.
I'd love to see if Bobby's coming in, and we all know Bobby plays his best football when he's had a bit of rhythm and he's got a couple of minutes under him. Bobby, if you take it, it's been so important this season. You look at the results that we've had, quite good results this year. Bobby has fundamentally been at the heart of quite a large percentage of them.
Well, he's second top goal scorer, in the league.
Yes, so that just says everything, miss.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Panav as well, and Chris saying Gomez not been running all the season. For me,
there we go, Chris.
Again, like I said, I think one of them two will be leaving in the summer. Whether that be Joe Gomez or Joel Matip. I think personally, Matip.
We all lanes and no more than Klopp and his technical staff on against Real in that phase. Like we were like, oh my, like that is absolutely embarrassing. Like regardless of how good or bad Gomez was playing, like, and I had a bit of favourites in Gomez, but not after that game. Like obviously we'll try and support him in certain areas, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at the moments that counts, like if his name was Adrian, his representation, like it'd be like Adrian didn't get a pass.
Well, it was. Well, you speak about that Trent, clip that was going around in that. More people were talking about Trent than Joe Gomez. I'm like, are you having a laugh? Like, yeah, fair enough. Like Trent didn't cover himself in glory, but Joe Gomez was the worst player on the pitch for Liverpool.
Joe Gomez was getting the ball and playing it. Yeah, Joe Gomez was getting the ball and through ball to Real Madrid to Benzema, a Ballon d'Or winner. Go ahead, son. You have a goal. Fan of the match for Real Madrid. He got right.
Mark said play Fabinho on the back line as well. Yeah, at this point, why not? Genuinely, if Liverpool
I don't even want to see that. I'm having flashbacks to 3 years ago when we literally had Fabinho and Henderson centre half.
To be fair, Fabinho was quite good at centre half when you actually look at the stats, but yeah.
Yeah, because he literally couldn't move any more than like the 6-yard box. Like,
I hate you.
Yeah, it's fake. All Fabinho has to do is centre half. He only has to move right or left and like up and down within the space of a 15-yard space depends on if. And by law, if Liverpool were defending the high line and the halfway line, and we had Fabinho there, like, yeah. Imagine Dama Traore just running in behind Fabinho.
Jesus Christ. Bad enough when what game was it, chat? Was the Leicester game at home? Where I
Was the
think we won.
Palace one? Was it Nat Phillips on the halfway line, or it was one of them? And
No, it was some. Was it? Were you talking this season or that
yeah,
season?
was it the
Oh,
Palace
it was
game where we
Palace game.
drew?
Yeah,
Yeah, was it Nat Phillips or Gomez on the halfway line?
Nat
And
Phillips.
that's when we said, Fabinho, just take him out, lad. Just absolutely do him.
Yeah,
Get
Nat
sent off or
Phillips.
something. Just stop the goal. And it's like, yeah, I love Nat, but at least Nat tries. Nat knows his limitations. He doesn't think that he can play centre half for Barcelona in a Champions League final. Nat Phillips knows he's Nat Phillips, and he's
I
good
don't know,
at what
man.
he does.
He did Cruyff turn Zlatan Ibrahimovic at the San Siro in a Champions League group stage
Yeah, but
game. So.
was it Tyler Morton absolutely bossed
Yeah.
Kessie and all that and the boys last year? So at least Tyler Morton and at least Nat Phillips actually can do a little bit of a skill move.
True.
So
That is true. Anyway, but guys, let us know your score prediction in the chat down below as well. I know we've read a few out anyway, but let us know.
who's he back?
Frank Mello. He started for the under 21s, didn't he?
It's great.
Him and Ben Doak.
What is it? The club have paid $2 million for like an under 21 experienced player. Nice.
I thought that was Jay Spearing's job this season.
Probably moved quicker than that. Midfielders, yeah.
So, to be fair, we're still waiting for Jay Spearing to make his first team debut.
And if that actually happened this season, I'm gonna spend the whole 24 hours on Twitter and social media anyway, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I have flashbacks. Was it when we had Kenny? That was prime Jay Spearing time when we had Kenny. Was it at the Emirates?
Yeah.
And that was the game where him and Wenger and Kenny told
when
beep.
Cout scored a penalty in the last kick of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The time to be alive that was.
Boué giving away pens.
Oh, well, to be fair, the question for you, actually. Just because Jack wants Mount, do you want Mason Mount in Liverpool?
Yeah.
Everyone knows my thoughts on it.
You're a no, aren't you?
I am a no.
Yeah.
But look,
I'm not saying get Mount and then we play him in the Champions League final, central midfield. I'm saying he'd be a great addition to the squad as overall. He improves on a Shaqiri, he improves on an Origi. That's the thing. We spoke about already a depth tonight, mate, in chat. We need an elite starting 11, but we need the elite another 6, another midfield, like 2-3 elite midfielders as well here and there. Better centre halves as well. Elite centre halves. Can't just rely on 2 centre halves. And then we know the deficiencies. And you look at Manchester City this season as well. They've wobbled in certain areas. But yeah, we just need to actually get enough quality into the football club. And then surprisingly, miraculously, as we all know, the performance levels will eventually get better. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But last couple of comments anyway, before we get score prediction and then we'll be heading off then. I saw Ballo in a FIFA career mode as a free agent and bursting out laughing for some reason. Yeah, I think all of us would be the same.
Probably how Julian Ward scouts half of the Tans, isn't it?
4-0 Liverpool, says Gary. And I was going to say, I'll take note now. Wasn't before the Madrid scored the second half, but now I'll take anybody.
Score prediction. You haven't given a score. Chat, get your score prediction.
Because we're going to do score prediction right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's your score prediction?
I feel like Derek Accorda. I can feel a 2-0, Connor. I can feel a 2-0.
Just don't say what
Liverpool.
Ricky does. Just don't do what Ricky does, and I'll be happy.
Nah, we can. Yeah, of course we're all deluded as Liverpool fans, anyways. Like, and of course, yeah, we've been playing bad, but saying that, I did say 3-1 against Palace. I did originally want to go 1, but you know what? No, I'm gonna keep on going 1-0 to the Reds. Yeah, 1-0 Liverpool. Take it, 3 points. Yeah. 1-0 Liverpool.
Goal scorer?
Nunes over a kick.
I'd like to see that. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I think Gakpo and Darwin to get the goals for me.
It's Anfield, and I'm open, chat, and obviously we'll speak about that next week when we got United. Yeah, I'm hoping the atmosphere is absolutely sound. Like,
It's got to be rocking.
yeah, it's
It's
got
got
to
to be
be.
it's got to be like Madrid.
Yeah.
Again.
Like, we need to create that atmosphere. Like, yes, the lads haven't been playing the best this season, but if we can create that extra atmosphere, and even if we do concede, like the atmosphere, of course, when you concede a goal, it's going to drain a lot out of the stadium. But just get behind them, just get behind the lads as well, and that's what we all do as Liverpool fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I need more convincing before I concede my 3-1 to United.
That's the mad thing, Scouse and Con chat. We always raise, supposedly, we look at that City game. Like, if you think of how good we did play at home against Manchester City in the Premier League, and then you start by stark contrast in reality, in terms of when you look at the other results after that game as well. Was that the game where we played Forest the week after and got beat?
Yes.
Or was that? Yeah, like that just highlights how bad our season has been. Yeah,
like it's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like I can't like. There's no other team like Liverpool that can finally beat Man City in a league season at home and then go on to lose to Forest. I think even when we have an XG of over 3 goals as well in the game.
I hate XG, lads. You know me. I hate XG.
I know you hate XG.
Football's not won on paper. It's won out there on the field. Like, you can say, oh, we've had a 7.0, but if you've not converted your chances, Christ. Like, it's just about getting the ball in the back of the net. Simplicity. Do a Leicester. Do a classic, but get the ball. Leicester. Yeah, just get it up the pitch. I'm all for the football purists, like all of us. We want to see nice football. But at the end of the day, even if it needs Liverpool to absolutely get a Van Dijk, boot it 60 yards, Nunes to run the end of it, Bob's your uncle, and happy days.
That's what we all hope for. Anyway, but
a Van Dijk Brexit ball. That's what we need.
Brexit ball.
Channelers inner. Jurgen Klopp's channelers inner prime. Totally Pulis and Big Sam. Yeah.
Absolutely. But guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight anyway. Big thank you to all of you guys. We have been gone for an hour and 20 minutes nearly. So, Jesus Christ, big thank you to all of you guys as well. I am going to quickly check how many likes we're actually on for tonight's show. I believe we are on 20 likes. So, big thank you to all of you guys.
It's been a great stream, everyone. So, appreciate it.
Yeah, big thank you to all of you guys. Big thank you to you as well for coming on.
Enjoy that. All good.
But yeah, Mark saying big. If we start good, we followed it so quickly against Madrid. Yeah. Absolutely. If my uncle had XG.
I was going to say that, Scout, but it's going to be a family friendly. It's never a family friendly.
To be fair, we're over the watershed. We're fine. We're
fine. Just turn your tell you down.
Like as Jurgen said, if the kids should be in bed by now, so fuck it. In that regard, anyway. But big thank you to all of you guys as well. Mark, if you are in here, please leave Jack's link in the comment section down below. Please go and subscribe over to Anfield Road TV as well. Of course, I'll be more on there over the next couple of weeks and months, of course. As I was going to say lead producer, but I'm not lead producer. I'm lead. What am I?
Leeds United. Wait, what?
Get a bit. But yeah, no, we'll be doing a lot more content everywhere as well, even though it has been really depressing as of late being a Liverpool supporter. But
we've been very fortunate, all of us, that we've watched this Liverpool side over the last couple of years. Not this season, really, but at the end of the day, could be worse. Could be another team outside top four, and a team
could be Chelsea.
Could be a Tottenham fan. Imagine that. What's the hell? Or in Everton.
Yeah.
So now, at least Everton have actually won some league titles.
Yeah, sure. Or don't even have to win them through corruption.
Yeah, never Liverpool.
Never Liverpool. Anyway, pick up to all of you guys as well in the comments. If you have enjoyed them, please feel free to leave a like. Please hit that subscribe button and please hit that share button as well. Very much appreciated as always. Anyway, but again, we'll be live tomorrow with a post-match reaction. With hopefully the Reds getting all 3 points against Wolves. Anyway, but I've been Connor from the Cop Council. We'll see you all then.
Pick up,